Hey everybody, it's Matt from MaxOut. This week's video blog is going to be about the term leader or leadership and defining that and trying to simplify it so that we can wrap our head around and maybe better understand what it means to be that and maybe find it within ourselves to start emulating that. I speak a lot to these kids in their schools and we talk about leadership, and a lot of them don't really have a good, clear definition of what that means. And it doesn't need to be rocket science. You know, we spend a lot of time in our brains thinking about people that might embody the word leader or leadership, you know, whether it's a military person or a famous sports athlete or the president or a bunch of different titles and positions, but it's not necessarily a definition. You couldn't say exactly what it is about that person that makes them a leader. And it seems like almost like a mythical quality that these people have, and it is a special quality to be a leader all the time, but it's not as unique a trait to be a leader at certain times in your life. And I created a definition that's worked for me. It's one I live by. It's one I teach in my leadership classes, and it's pretty simple. My definition of a leader is any person who selflessly, that's the key word, selflessly gives of their time and effort to help another person find success. That's a leader. It's not some big, mythical, brave, courageous, diving on grenades, leading people into battle, winning a championship, running a country. It's not as big and grand as that. It's pretty simple. And I believe every person has the ability to lead one other person. Just one. And I think they can do that every day. But they have to commit their mind and their heart and their soul to doing it. So when I'm in class talking to kids, and they're the hardest to get to wrap their head around this, but they're also the easiest because they don't have a whole lot of life experience that gets in the way or muddles their brain in accepting things. So I'll ask the kids to raise their hand. How many believe that they are leaders? And you know, a handful will go up. And then I'll ask them a question: how many people have seen someone be bullied in their lifetime? Everybody will raise their hand. And then I ask them how many of those that had their hands raised did something about that bullying act, whether it was reported it or intervened or something, that they took some proactive action to help the kid that was being bullied. And most of them kept their hands up. And I said, based on our definition, the one that we just defined as a leader, selflessly giving of your time and effort to help someone else find success, the ones that helped the kid that was being bullied were leaders at that moment. And they were astonished that that's the logic that went into that, and that they put themselves at risk by potentially being a target to the bully themselves. But yet they did it, and they put the kid who was being bullied and not finding success in a position of success, which was simply not being bullied anymore. And if you use that same logic in your daily life, whether it's in sports or relationships or school or wherever, if you're trying to help other people and you're trying to help them be successful, then you are a leader. Without a doubt, you are a leader. And I think if we keep it simple and we don't try to over glorify it or over dramatize it, and just keep it as pure as we can, and we do things without wanting something in return, in most of our lives, if we do that, we're going to be leaders and we're going to be successful, and we're not going to be victims. And I think that's the important lesson that can come from this. And I think everybody has that potential. So until next week, go out, help somebody, do it without anything and wanting anything in return. And I promise you, you will be successful and you will be a leader. Have a great week.